Ready? I have a couple things I wrote down. Music, secular or not?
Depends.
Depends on music.
Oh! Depends on what, Avery?
Drums.
If it's like Christian or not.
Okay, there's Christian music and there's non-Christian music, so I guess it would depend. Okay, what about movies?
Yeah, depends.
Depends.
Okay, again, depends. Okay, what about the movie Die Hard?
Secular.
Would that be secular or Christian?
Christmas.
Oh, you said Christmas. And that wasn't the question, but it is a Christmas movie.
Yes.
And if it's Christmas, then it's about what?
Jesus.
Jesus! So is it secular or not? It's still, I would still put it as secular. Okay, what about social media?
Depends.
Secular, but what?
I think it depends.
Yeah, you think it depends? Depends on what?
On how you use the platform.
On how you use the platform and maybe who you're following, right? So you could say if you scrolled past the Echo Instagram page, you're like, oh, this is not secular. But then you scroll to, I don't know, something past that and it's not. So it depends. So there's a reason why I'm talking about why it depends. What about the NBA? NBA secular or not? It's secular. What about Harry Potter? What about Lord of the Rings?
Jesus.
Oh, Lord of the Rings though, is that secular or not?
Undercover Christian.
Why are we having a hard time defining this? Isn't it about good and evil? Isn't it kind of have Christian undertones?
It's about the Lord.
It's about what?
The Lord.
It's about the Lord. It has the gospel in it,
Yeah.
right? The gospel message. So like Narnia. Okay, what about public school?
No.
You say no? Who said that?
It would be like
Again, it depends. Okay, do you see why this is really hard? Okay, what about going to a concert?
It depends.
Okay, what about a Taylor Swift concert? So it depends, right? So here's my thing. This is what I was taught when I was growing up. If God's not a part of it, so therefore it's secular, then it's bad. And therefore I'm not supposed to partake in it. And do you know what that's called? That's called legalism. That's called, if you can't partake in it, if you're not allowed to do it, it's legalism at its core. So I grew up thinking, and I was maybe more conservative than you guys, that I couldn't go to the movie theater. As a matter of fact, I was the last part of that generation. Did you know there was a generation that was taught that your guardian angel was left outside of the movie theater when you went inside? That's because it was a secular activity. God was not in it, therefore he would not follow you in, right? Okay, I was not allowed to, well, I guess I was a kid. Listen to non-Christian music. As a kid, I only listened to Christian music, but especially like on the Sabbath or going to church. I wasn't allowed, so things I'm not allowed to do as a Christian, you're not allowed to go to a bar, right? And listen, you don't have to drink to go to bars, right? So why is it bad? Or is it? Do you see why this is hard to talk about? I wasn't allowed to go to parties. I definitely wasn't, I'm not saying I wasn't allowed. There was no dancing. Oh man. Unless it was to Jesus, but you had to be careful about your hips. All right? Any system that told you that that you have to follow these rules or else you would be out is rooted in legalism. So, how do we, as a Christian, know what we should or shouldn't do? How do we know what we can partake in and what we can't partake in? Do you guys wish you knew? What? And it's pointing right back at you. All right. Whether you are in the secular world or whether you are in the religious world, it doesn't matter. Why? Because you can be in a secular world and completely honor and praise Jesus in everything that you do, and that's a good thing. You can also be in a religious world and want nothing to do with it. Does that make sense? So, what matters is where your heart is, and it matters if you sound like him. I wish that somebody had told me this growing up, because I looked up to a lot of people who represented Jesus. And as I read the word and I got closer to God, I realized that a lot of the people that said that they represented him didn't sound anything like him. There's a story, you guys might know it, found in Matthew 26, and it's where Peter denies Jesus 3 times. People came up to Peter and said, hey, aren't you that guy hung out with Jesus? And Peter wanted nothing to do with it because he was afraid to associate himself with Jesus. And he gets to the point where in Matthew 26, verse 73, it says this. It says in verse 73, they came up to Peter, and verse 73 says, after a little while, those standing there, this is right before he did that in the 3rd time, went up to Peter and said, surely you are one of the disciples, for your accent gives you away. Here's the thing. Peter wanted to deny Jesus, but he couldn't help but sound just like him because he had spent 3.5 years with him. And then Peter did this. He then started cursing and started making himself sound like them so that he could sound less like Jesus. He had to make himself sound like them so that he could disassociate himself from him, the one whom he naturally sounded like because he had hung out with them. I asked this question to you guys, and that is, isn't our goal to sound more like him and less like them? How do you sound more like him and less like them? How, as a Christian, is our goal to sound more like him and less like them? You want to take that?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Is that the vet? Okay. Invite him to Echo next week, next Friday. Yeah. Okay. It's all good. Hey, I'm basically done with this talk, but a lot of people want to know this question: what am I allowed to do, and what am I not allowed to do? Don't you want to know what things that you're allowed to participate in, and what things you're not allowed? What worldly things am I allowed to participate in, and what worldly things should I not? I'm going to ask you this question. Is this concert, is this song, is this movie, is this party, is this fill in the blank pointing you towards Jesus, or is it pointing you towards the desires that is in your flesh and in your heart? And then your second question I want you to ask is this. Are you full or are you empty? Because if you're going into the world with an empty cup, then what's naturally going to fill it? It's the things that you surround yourself with. Does that make sense? If you're coming with an empty cup, you're naturally going to fill it with the things that are around you. Now, we are called to do both. We're actually called to be in the world, but not of the world. We're called to go to parties. We're actually called to go to concerts. We're called to go into the places where the rest of the world is. But the danger is, are you wanting to absorb those things and become those things? Or have you first come with a full cup? Have you first overflowing with the love of God that you've received first before you go into the world? Both are important. Is this for God's glory and God's credit, or is this for my own desires? Now, we're going to break into small groups, and I want to spend the rest of our time, and I'm so glad we have so much more extra time. We got, 35 minutes. And in your small groups, you're going to be discussing these questions. And what I want to encourage you guys to do is this. I want you to take as much time as you can diving into these questions. You might be tempted to just answer the question yes or no. Don't do that. I want you guys to wrestle with these questions. I want you to look into scripture, and what I'm going to have you guys do is this. Every time we do our breakout groups, you're going to have a Bible. If you brought yours, then praise God, you can use that. If not, we have our own Bibles. Every time there's a Bible verse, the small group leader is going to allow you to read the Bible verse in silence so that you can receive the word first. And then you're going to discuss as a group. Every time there's a Bible verse to read, you're going to read it first yourself. And what does I want you to do? No matter what Bible you pick up, whether it's yours or our Bible, take a highlighter and just highlight that Bible verse. So that every time we open that book, we know that, hey, we've been using this. We're highlighting through. And before you start, I want your group to pray for the Spirit to lead as you have these conversations and you dive deep. And I want to know what you think, as a Christian, our influence should be with the secular world is. And I want you to discuss that together, and then we're going to come back at the end and see what you guys come up with. But we're going to focus in these small groups for the next half hour or so. So what we're going to do is you have name tags, and you have a small group leader within that color group, and you're going to find a table and go around that table with your chairs, and then you're going to meet with your small group, and you will be dismissed to do that. Right? Ready? Now, go. All right. Find a small group leader.